Let's talk about finance. Hello and welcome. We're talking about finance today, and probably every other day, and probably every other day after that. Anyways, we're going to be talking about a few things today. We're going to be talking about the difference between credit cards and debit cards. We're going to be talking about high yield savings accounts and traditional savings accounts. And then we're also going to be talking a little bit about budgeting. We're not going to go into a lot of depth here because I don't want to do that this video, and I'll save it for another video. I'll be talking about some budgeting plans that are popular, and you can figure out which one fits you. Credit cards. Let's talk about credit cards, shall we? So here at the top, I hope you can read. You, yes, you are using the bank's, the big brick building that you can like deposit money and take out money from. Yeah, you're using the bank's money to buy your stuff. That includes groceries, that includes rent, utilities, clothes, shoes, food, water, literally anything you can buy with a credit card. You will be using the bank's money. On top of that, at the end of every month, you will be paying back their monthly statement that they send you. I know, what a shame. You can't keep using the bank's money. You have to actually use your own money. Anyways, you have to pay that, which means that money is coming out of your account, out of your checking account, and that means that's coming out of your monthly income. I know, such a shame to see all those $10 bills moving out of your account. The main factor of, monthly payments or the monthly statements I just said is that it will be affecting your credit score. Your credit score is basically your life and how you will keep moving on in the future. That is, if you want to get out of your parents' basement. I don't know what they're talking about. But, anyways, if you would like to move out of your house and get an apartment, at least a nice apartment or a nice house, or a nice car or van, that is, you will have to have a pretty decent credit score. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, so that means you have a little bit of leniency. But if you do miss a payment, the monthly statement, like I said earlier, your credit score will go down and will be hurt tremendously. The banks will call other bureaus and brokerages and tell them that you are not a reliable client. So do not give them your money, is what the bank will say to other banks. On top of that, don't mind that. You shouldn't be scared of that. You'll be okay. If you miss a monthly statement, you're charged with high interest. Those are scary words. Yes, you are charged with high interest if you miss a monthly payment or a monthly statement. That means that the bank will charge you on top of the monthly statement that they send you. So say your monthly statement is $1,200, you will be charged an extra 20% and possibly more of that monthly statement. So instead of your monthly statement being like $1,200, it could be upwards of $1,600 to $1,700. That's very scary. But, that's not anything to be super scared of as long as you're paying on time. Make sure to pay all your subscriptions, all your car bills, all your health insurance bills, and especially your monthly statements. That is credit cards. Debit cards. So debit cards are basically the same thing as credit cards, except they don't affect your credit score. So anything that basically you buy, you will use your own money, and you buy something, your money is gone. Basically, that amount of money is gone if you buy something. On top of that, there are a lot of bright sides to having a debit card. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of bright sides to having a credit card as well. But I would say if you are going to start out with getting one of those, I would say get a debit card, because the debit cards, you don't have any interest if you miss a payment. I mean, unless it's your car payment or something, but you don't have monthly statements that you have to pay. So you don't have to worry about having a high interest rate of 20 to 40%, which is insane. There's no interest, but if you do go negative in the account, so if you spend more money than you have, you will have to pay an overdraft fee, and that overdraft fee can range from however much. I will say it's probably better than having to pay, you know, a 40% interest on a on a $2,600 monthly statement. So I'd probably say it's better than that. But yeah, I mean, those are the main things about the debit card. The debit card, I would say, is probably a lot more reliable, a lot more risk-free, if that's how if that's how I can put it. But yeah, you're basically using your own money to buy things. You know, if you buy something, that money is gone. You can't use it again unless you return the item. No interest. You pay an overdraft fee if you go over, and then it does not affect your credit score, which is really good, because then you don't have to worry about not paying something unless it's your car or health insurance or rent. Then you won't have a place to live. But anyways, that's the debit card. Let's talk about high yield savings accounts and traditional savings accounts. So let's start off with the high yield savings accounts. They have a typical or average APY or interest rate of 4 to 5%, right up here. So that means if you put in $1,000 into a high yield savings account, you will gain about $40 to $50 per year. And on top of that, every additional year, it'll increase because you have more money in your savings account. It's crazy. The only downside is that they are mostly online, so there are not a lot of high yield savings accounts where you can go in person and open one. I'm sure there are a bunch around, but not nearly as common as, you know, the physical banks for traditional savings accounts. On top of that, the high yield savings accounts, they don't usually have fees. Not monthly fees, at least. Not usually. Some might, but for the most part, they don't, I don't think. For traditional savings, very, very, very low interest rate of 0.01 to 0.05% a year. That is also known as APY. Man, I write like a caveman. Anyways, that is very, very low. That is incredibly low. So if you put in $1,000, you will gain back about $1 to $5 every year. That's incredibly low. Not good at all. The upside, one of them, they have physical banks. So you can just go in and be like, hey, I'd like to open up a bank account, and I'd like to have a checking and a savings account. There you go. Boom. Have a traditional savings. Get you 0.01 to 0.05% a year. Not good. Big downside is usually there are monthly fees unless you are at a minimum balance. And a lot of those balances require, like, I believe one of my banks, not one of mine, but, you know, my bank requires like $2,000 minimum in the savings account in order to not be charged monthly for it, which is insane. That's why I don't use it. I don't have any money in there. So I closed it. Another upside is you can instantly transfer your money from your savings account to your checking account, or the other way around, from your checking account to your savings account. I know a lot of people do that, and I'll tell you, it's not good at all. It really, really ruins your spending habits. Trust me, I would know because I was one of them. Don't do it. Whereas the high yield savings account will take about 1 to 3 business days. It may take longer depending, obviously, if you did it on a weekend and they're not open on the weekend. So that's where the 1 to 3 comes from. 1 to 3 business days. So that's the difference between a high yield and a traditional savings account. Hopefully that made sense. I forgot one thing. They are both insured of up to $250,000 by the FDIC. There you go. And last but not least, we're going to be talking about budgeting. Now, I'm not going to lie, this is a pretty difficult topic for me because I don't do it. And I'm sure a lot of you guys don't do it either. But this is how we start. So, first off, we have 4 rules. This is only 3, but the pen counts as 4. 4 rules. We have the 70-20-10 rule, 50-30-20 rule, 0 budget rule, 48-hour rule. And I know what you're thinking. No, the 0 budget rule does not mean you have 0 budget. Anyways, the 70-20-10 rule means 70% of your income goes to your needs. So groceries, rent, monthly payments like car insurance, not subscriptions, car insurance, life insurance, health insurance, dental insurance, any of that. 70% of your income goes to that. 20% goes to your savings. So example, like we just talked about, your high yield savings account or your traditional savings account. Put 20% of your income into that. And then the last 10% you put into your debts. So if you have student loan debt, go and pay that with the 10%. And then after that, whatever you have left, keep to yourself and spend it if you have any left. Now, the 50, 30, 20 rule means 50% of your income goes to your needs. So like I said last time, groceries like food, you have, your new clothes or your new shoes if you need them, not if you go on a spending spree and go to the mall and go spend it. Don't do that. 50% of that goes to your needs. Rent, utilities, car insurance, health insurance, you get it. I hope. 30% of that goes to your wants, so video games. Then you can spend it on clothing and shoes if you want to. 20% of that, or the last 20%, goes to your savings and debts. So if I could, I would split this up 10 and 10. So I'd split it up 10 and 10 to make it 20. So 10% goes to savings and 10% goes to debt. Unless you have quite a bit of savings and you need to pay off your debts, then I would go 20% to debts. But I would recommend splitting it up 10 and 10. That way, so you have a little bit of both and you don't just waste, everything on one thing. But don't take it from me because I'm bad at budgeting. So actually go to somebody that has like professionalism, not me. So anyways, we're going to go on to the zero budget rule. Not what you're thinking, but you give every dollar from your income a job. I know, scary word, job. But this means that your income minus your expenses equals zero. So you have $0 left over, basically. So you can put that into however you want. Just make sure it works. Because there are a lot of people out there, including me, that don't put their money in the right places. And that's coming from somebody that does that. So give every dollar a job. So for example, I'm going to put $1,000 out of my $2,500 of monthly income into my savings account. And then the rest, I'll put $750 into rent and then the rest on savings or debts. Now, on to the last one. We're almost done. Let's go. Congratulations. You wait 48 hours or 2 days to see if you really need the thing you want to buy. And I'm not going to lie, this one does not work for me at all because no matter what, I will still probably buy it if I have the money for it. I did it with my VR headset. Hold on, wait, I'll grab it. I bought this for $500 when it first came out. I literally used it for the first time in like 2 years or like a year and a half. A week ago. About a week ago. Fuck with us and then we tweaking. It's unbelievable. But anyways, so yes, this wait 48 hours to see if you really need it. You actually have to have a lot of discipline for this. I, for example, do not have a lot of discipline, so it does not work for me. But if you can do this, congratulations. You are actually getting towards using your money properly. So, anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Don't do anything stupid with your money. Jeez, this eraser sucks, dude. I gotta get a new one. Holy